3, 2, 1, let's do it. So I've got lesson 9.5 to help you, maybe over spring break, maybe before or after, but help you graphing sine and cosine. Previous years we took like 2 or 3 days, boom, one lesson. Not this year, one lesson. Here we go. Okay, so sketching sine and cosine. So first of all, they are very important graphs because it's very common in sciences. Sound waves, for example, can be modeled by sine curves. And so always sketch using radian measure. We should do so with our sketches. Sine and cosine, cool. So the x-axis represents angles and radians. Y-axis represents the trig ratio values. The angle measure takes complete one full cycle. One full cycle is called the period. So you start here and you finish here, even though it continues. The distance from the axis of equilibrium to the highest or lowest point is called the amplitude. So up here and down here is called the amplitude. So it could be 1 or 2 or 3. Amplitude is always positive. So always positive. Use a certain unit circle shown to the sketch the graphs of sine and cosine. Graph 2 periods. So this is what sine and cosine look like. Ready? So there's 5 magical numbers for sine and cosine. So 5 magical numbers. So for sine, you start at 0. You actually start at 0. And then you go up to 1, back to 0, down to -1, back to 0. So 0, 0, 1, 0. -1 is down here, -1, and then back to 0. And then cosine actually starts high, goes low, comes back again. So cosine goes 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. So 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. And the reason why is if you think about the curve, so 1, 0. If you think about the circle, remember the coordinates on 9.4, we talked about the quadrant angles. Here we go, use those. So this is going to be 0 up 1 and 0 down 1. So again, if we think about sine as being 0, 1, 0, -1, 0. So we go, remember it goes cosine and then sine. So sine is the y values. So 0, 1, 0, -1, and then back to 0. So that's how you use the circle to get those y values. So these are the x values, and these are the y values. So cosine, on the other hand, goes 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. Let's see it. Cosine goes 1, 0, -1, 0, and then back to 1 again. So again, these are the x values. These are the y values. X values and y values. So now we're just going to go ahead and graph those. Ready? So we're going to go ahead and graph those now. We have 5 dashes, 5 places to put stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to make them evenly spaced out, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Be spaced out a little better. We're going to label our x values. That's these guys right here. So we go 0, Then we go all the way to 2 pi. What's half of 2 pi? 1 pi. What's half of 1 pi? Pi over 2. Half of 1 pi is pi over 2. So that's the distance. So we go 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. So 0, 2 pi, cut that in half, that's 1 pi. Cut that in half, that's pi over 2. Then we count 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. There it is. Nice. So then we have green here. So we're going up to, so we have 1 and negative 1. So we're going to go 0, right? 0, 1. At pi, it's back to 0. And then negative 1 for 3 pi over 2. And then back to 2 pi. And so there's our sine graph. So again, this is just the parent function, right? The parent function. We have transformation next that we'll talk about, transformations. So then we have 1, we have negative 1 for cosine. So cosine goes 1 into 0 and pi over 2. At pi, it's down here at negative 1. Then 3 pi over 2. And then back to 2 pi. So try to make it curvy. Try to make it curvy there. There you go. Make it curvy. So if you think about it, sine and cosine are really just shifts to the left and right of each other, actually. So if I was going to take sine and shove it over here, you would see that it's kind of a shift of each other, basically, right? Basically just a shift of each other. So then, just to finish that off, so again, our period is going to be 1 full cycle, and 1 full cycle is from 0 all the way full circle, all the way to 2 pi. And our amplitude there is 1. And so again, 2 pi, and our amplitude is 1. And so that's just going to be our equation for y equals 1 sine. We have a b value there, which is just a 1, invisible 1, plus no midline there. So that's just sine of x is what that is. And you multiply those ones through. And then over here, we also have an amplitude of 1 for cosine of 1x plus our b value. There we go. So that's just y equals cosine of x. So next, we'll show you how to do the basically transformations of sine and cosine. All right, we are back. Woo! Just had to do a bunch of classes and meetings. Okay, so we're going to go and turn the page now. So sine and cosine have periods that repeat, right? They're called the cycle. So two graphs of the same type of curve. So we just have to adjust the parent function. So the amplitude is the stretch up or down. So you go up, up, and maybe that's just 1, negative 1. Maybe it's all the way up to 2 or 3. So that's the amplitude. The absolute value symbols means it's always positive. Even if you're going down, it's which you are. So amplitude is always positive. On the test, your amplitude answer should be positive. Never negative, always positive. And that's for the amplitude. So 2 pi over b equals the period. That's the horizontal stretch. So going all the way to 2 pi or all the way to 4 pi, it's the stretch. C is the horizontal shift and D is the vertical shift. It's called the midline. It's called the midline. So you take a graph, kind of like sine or cosine, and then what you do is you shift it So if you have like a midline of like, like +2, for example, you'd move the whole thing like 1, 2. And then all of a sudden your midline there is at 2, right? And that means that you shifted the whole thing up 2. And so your midline is in the middle. Cool. So let's give it a try. So our amplitude is 1/2. That's the number that goes in the front. And then there's an invisible B number right there. That's the number 1. And so that's what B equals. B equals 1. And so B equals 1, if we use our formula, so it's 2 pi over 1. Again, that's 1 because that's the number in front. Over here, the amplitude is 3. It's a positive 3. The negative means to flip it. So flip it over the x-axis. So flip it over the x-axis. There's still an invisible 1 there, so that's still 2 pi over 1. We're going to graph these in a second. I just want to point out the differences, right? So down here, we have an amplitude of 1. Now our period, again, is going to be 2 pi over that number there. And so that's actually a 3. So our period there is 3. This one would be an amplitude of 1. And then this would be, the period would be 2 pi over 1/2. Which 2 pi over 1/2, you have to keep change flip. So that means you'd have to go ahead and multiply it by 2 over 1 by 2 over 1. And those would cancel. And then 2 times 2 is 4 pi. So that's really being stretched really far. So we'll show you that one in a second too. And then we'll do our midline. So our midline would be also another thing to write down. And so our midline there would be +1. So that would be up. That'd be up 1. And then this is something else. So this is the phase shift. And the phase shift is opposite because it's inside the parentheses. So you think negative, so you think left, but it's actually right. Pi over 2. So we'll come back to those and finish those up. Just want to kind of give you the idea of some of these features. Okay, so we have 5 numbers, remember, that go with sine. 0, 1, 0, -1, 0. So we have 5 numbers of sine, and we're going to apply the amplitude and the midline to it. There is no midline, so that's like a +0. So that means our midline is just 0, and so that's no shift. So that's no shift up or down. So that'll make it easier. So we take our 5 numbers for sine. So that's 0, 1, 0, -1, 0. Then we take our amplitude, which is 1/2, and we take 1/2 and we multiply it through. Multiply. So multiply it through. So that means times by 1/2, times by 1/2, all the way through, all the way through. So then this becomes 0. 1 times 1/2 is just 1/2. 0 times 1/2 is just 0. -1 times 1/2 is -1/2. And 0 times 1/2 is 0. So now we have 1 way up here and -1 down here. And then we're going to go ahead and label there 1/2. So yeah, this is going to shrink it a little bit, okay? It's going to shrink it, which means that, oh, you got to use our period as well. So our period, you have to do 5 vertical lines. 5 vertical lines. 5. So 5 vertical lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going from 0 to 2 pi. Cut it in half. Cut it in half again. 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. And then we're going to do our, so our 5 vertical lines now go with our 5 numbers. Our 5 vertical lines now go with our 5 numbers. So we're going to be here at 0. Wow. So we're going to be here at 0, so that's here. Then we're going to go up a half. Here, so we go up a half. Then we go back to 0, then down to negative a half. Whoops, negative a half is right there. So negative a half, and then finish off at 0 again. So there's our sine that's been cut in half with the amplitude, right? Our sine has been cut in half with the amplitude. It does keep going, it does keep going. Nice. So the next one is, the amplitude is 3. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, way up there. And negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, way down here. I'm going to move this out of the way because that's kind of messing up things there. Cool. Nice. Okay, so we're doing cosine. And the 5 numbers of cosine are 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Do you remember that? 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Well, we are going to take the negative 3, and we're going to go ahead and multiply it by negative 3 all the way through. So times by negative 3, times by negative 3, all the way through, all the way through, all the way through. Okay, so 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 0 times negative 3 is 0. Positive, negative times negative is a positive 3. And then back to 0, and then 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So by using those 5 numbers and multiplying negative 3 through, that's going to stretch it up and down 3, and it's going to flip it upside down. So our valley becomes a mountain. You'll see, valley becomes a mountain. Here we go. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From 0 to the period, which is 2 pi. So that's going to be pi, 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. And then we're going to go ahead and go, so we're going to amplitude. Okay, so we're going to graph these numbers. So negative 3 is down here. Then the next one, which is right here, so that'll be 0, so we're up to 0. Then up to positive 3, which is way up here. And then back to 0. And then down to 0, and then back to negative 3. Now make it curve, make it curve. So try to make it nice and curvy there. Probably should have moved that over a tiny bit. There you go. Okay, so there it is. That's upside down cosine, makes a mountain because it's upside down. Stretch 3, upside down. Okay, so next one is going to be sine 3x. So this one's going to be tricky just because of the period. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 pi over 3, if you cut that in half, that would be 2 pi over 3 times a half, right? So times a half is cutting it in half. And so that's going to be 2 pi over 6, which reduces to pi over 3. If you divide by 2, divide by 2. Then we'll go ahead and times that by half again. And that'll give us pi over 6, which is what we're counting by. So we're counting by pi's over 6. So 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, that means this is 3 pi over 6, which reduces actually to pi over 2. So there we go. And then we're just doing sine, so that's going to be 0, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, and 0. So there's our graph, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, because the amplitude is 1. And that was just the period. The midline is also 0. It didn't shift up or down. Okay, this one's going to stretch all the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to stretch all the way to 4 pi. So half of 4 pi is 2 pi. Half of 2 pi is 1 pi. Wait, yeah, 2 pi. Oops, I messed up on my lines there. So let me erase that. Okay, so we're stretching it, So here we go, let me try that again, stretching it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the way to 4 pi is really stretching that sucker. So this must be 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. Okay, so cosine, remember, cosine is 0, it's 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. So 1, 0, -1, 0, and 1. So the graph goes up and then down and then up again. So it's just really, stretched horizontally. Really stretched horizontally. Let's make a video. So then we're going to go and do our midline now. So we take our 5 numbers of sine, so 0, 1, 0, -1, 0. And now we're going to go ahead and add. So we're going to go ahead and add, so +1, +1, +1, +1, +1. So that's going to be 1, 2, 1, 0, 1. So now we're going to go and shift. So if this is 1, then 2 will be up here. And so now we have a midline. So we have an amplitude of 1. Our B value is, make that green. So we have an invisible 1 there next to our B value. So that means it's 2 pi over 1. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2 pi. Half of 2 pi is 1 pi. We have pi over 2. 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. Your favorite? So we start off at 1. We go up to 2 next. And then down to 1. And then 0. And then back to 1. And so now we've taken our graph, right? We've taken our sine graph. And we've shifted it. So it was here, and now we've shifted it up 1. Right? So we shifted the whole thing. Shifted the whole thing up 1. Up 1. Just doing a math video. So then our amplitude, of course, is 1. Our period is still there, so that's going to be 2 pi over 1. And then we do have a phase shift of right pi over 2, so you have to find the distance. So find the distance in, squares, I guess you could say, or x-axis squares. Yeah, so find that distance, basically, and then we'll go right that many. Right that many. So just doing a video right now for my Math 3 class. Okay, so we're doing cosine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going from 0 to 2 pi. Half of 2 pi is 1 pi. Half of 1 pi is pi over 2. 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, so that's going to be 3 pi over 2. And so we have an amplitude of 1, period of 2 pi, and we're doing cosine. So that means that we're going to start off at 1 and go to -1. So I'm going to do dots this time. And the reason why I'm doing dots is because this is not the answer. So you behind the screen, thanks for watching. So that's not the answer, it's the parent function. Now we got to shift it. So this means we have to shift it right pi over 2. So find the distance. So that distance is right here, right? Pi over 2. That's the distance. So that means we're going to shift everything by pi over 2. Shift everything. Shift everything. 1 to the right. Just making a math video. So 1 squared, just shift everything 1 to the right. So now here's our final answer. So this dot gets shifted here. This dot gets shifted here. Let me see here. This one down here gets shifted 1. And then this gets shifted 1. And then this gets shifted 1. So what's that dot? 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, 4 pi over 2. This would be 5 pi over 2. Oh. Okay, so now our graph has been shifted. Can you see what happened there? So we had our graph, and now we went ahead and shifted it. Whoa, we shifted it. That's it. So that's our final answer there by shifting it to the right, pi over 2. So that's shifting it right, pi over 2. Here's some more information and some more practices for you. That's shifting our amplitude as well as our phase shift. So this is just like more. So this is just like more practice. Still have a period of 2 pi, but this would be left pi over 2. This would be left pi over 2. So that's more practice. Okay, last but not least, can you come up with the equation? Can you come up with the equation given a graph? So you first find the halfway mark, and that's 2. So that's the midline. That's the halfway mark. That's the halfway mark. And so let's see, it says sine or cosine. So this one is going 0 yeah, do you recognize what that is? So that's going to be sine. So we have y equals sine. We've got to figure out the b value still and the amplitude. But we did just find the midline. So our midline is 2, right guys? Our midline is 2. And our amplitude, let's see what our amplitude is. Whoa, our midline's not 2. That's not right. So our midline is the halfway mark, and that's right along the x-axis. So it's not 2. Our halfway mark is actually right here. What do you mean? Well, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go up 4. We also go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go up 4, down 4. So that means our amplitude is 4. So we did find that. That's correct. But that's wrong. So right in the middle, along our x-axis, that's y equals 0. So yeah, so our midline is actually plus 0. Last but not least is our period. So we're doing 1 full cycle. So we go up. Is that 1 full cycle? No, that's not 1 full cycle yet. Down. Okay, do you see we're about to repeat? So we're about to repeat. That's here and that's here. So we're about to repeat. So that means our period is 2 pi. And since our period is 2 pi, that means that our b value has to be 1. B value has to be 1. So here's a little chart to help you for the test. You should probably put this on your note card. Put this on your note card. Here's a little chart I would make. So you have our b value and we have our period. So if our b value is 1, our period is 2 pi. If our b value is 2, our period is pi. And if our b value is 1/2, then our period is 4 pi. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, thanks again, you behind the screen. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Thanks for learning 9.5 with me. Bye for now. Everybody say bye. 3, 2, 1.
See ya.